Hello, I'm just going to take 10 minutes of your time to promote a really good podcast that I love and also take the piss out of Nadine Dorries at the same time. One of the worst politicians the UK has ever seen, and there's a lot of competition out there for that place. This is a group of broadcasters and comedians, Welsh guys, who during the first lockdown got together and started their own podcast called The Socially Distanced Sports Bar, which contains probably about a third of sport and 2/3 of taking the piss out of people and talking about stuff. So, without further ado...
Because obviously all the BBC stuff has kicked off this week.
Yes.
Nadine Dorries and co, right?
Yeah.
I worked it out.
I was absolutely amazed that people watch telly on YouTube.
Yeah, that was my favourite bit. She's culture, media
fun.
and sports secretary, and she's going, the youngsters watch it on YouTube now. Like,
Yeah,
oh, for
amazing.
fuck's sake, how have you got that job?
Jeez.
For fuck's sake.
So the BBC is £3 a week. And I'm not a BBC...
43p a day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I said, even if you're only watching those 7 channels, right? Those 7 channels are costing you 40 pence a week each. And they're 24-hour-a-day channels. And one of those is iPlayer, which is everything the BBC's ever done.
Yeah.
Right?
And you got the website as well, and obviously local.
I said, and she, her expenses claim last year was £183,000.
Did you see the little box?
being paid for by the same people paying the TV licence fee.
See the thing that she was crossing out, all the ones that she doesn't use.
I know, what a cock.
And you think all the replies to it, well, I've never used the fire brigade or the
Yeah.
ambulance or the police, really.
I've never had back surgery.
No, yeah. I'd like to only pay
Not once.
for the 4 trips to A&E that I've done.
I have never driven in Northumberland.
Some bloke that was whinging about it was on his...
I've never used the army.
I've personally not used the Navy.
I'm a pacifist. Some bloke was on his profile thing there was like, cancer survivor, blah blah blah. I said, it's brilliant you survived cancer, mate. I'm genuinely proud that you have.
I'm chuffed for you.
I said, but that's very, very expensive, that treatment, from what I've read. I hope you pay for it yourself. Because I haven't got cancer, and I don't want to pay for your cancer treatment.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the most ludicrous argument. But also, if you go through all the things that she does or doesn't listen to or watch, you just go, bollocks, you've never looked at the BBC News website and you're doing your job. Well, then, you should probably have a look.
You probably should watch
Yeah.
BBC 4.
What your husband watch? All my husband watches is Sky Sport. I said, so he loves sport. He's never watched the BBC.
Refuses. If there's an FA Cup game on the Beeb, I'm not watching it. Not paying 43p a week for this
Not
shit.
for me, thank you.
Oh, no.
I love tennis, but Wimbledon, I draw the line.
Not for me. I will watch the French Open on Amazon. Definitely. I'm in for that. I will seek out the Australian Open on Sky. I am
Exhibition matches.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. General ATP Tour matches.
Things I will watch. Kabaddi, Trans World Sport International.
Things I will not watch, the Six Nations. I watched England games when they were on Sky. But apart from that, no thanks.
So weird. It's one of those things, like I've mentioned this before, I've lived in North America, right? Watch North American TV and then come back home.
Yes.
And you will never whinge about the BBC again, I guarantee you.
Andrew O'Neill, the comedian, who Mike will know, he did such a funny tweet the other day. He said, I'll tell you something that has never happened. No one has ever said, oh, you're British. I love ITV.
Oh, the Fight TV are listening.
Oh, we're more than happy to work for you guys.
Oh, I still love watching The Upper Hand.
They're saying the same, and it tends to be the same people. And I'm not going to nail my Brexit opinion one way or the other to the
I think
to
that's
the
an
power
okay
cut.
thing to
You
do.
work it out for yourself.
Yeah.
But it's the same people who are fervently for kicking Europe out and making our own rules and celebrating being British.
Yes.
Are the same people who
Literally
dismantle
one of the
BBC.
best things they're not keen on.
It's like the only thing we do well.
Yes. Yes, it is.
We fuck everything else up.
What we should do is get rid of the BBC and the NHS for me.
Yeah.
They're the two.
Get rid
They
of
let the
them.
country down.
Yeah.
Although my mate Byron listens to this, right? In Calgary. Now, this is the thing. This is the thing. I get accused of being... Al's got to watch this because he works directly for BBC. I get accused of a particular political slant, right? I will say this. On record, right?
Yeah.
I have voted
On record.
Conservative in the past.
Okay.
Right? I have voted Labour. I have voted Plaid Cymru. Right? I tend to vote for who I think is the best deal at the time for me and my family. Right? That's sort of how it works.
You strike me as a panic voter. You're in the booth. You've got the pencil. Fuck it, I've got to do something.
I genuinely once voted Lib Dem by accident in a general election. I ticked the wrong box and I didn't have the fucking gumption to do anything about it. Just left it there.
Just go back. Can I have another one? I've messed this up.
And I know plenty of people that are conservatives, that are nice people, and they're not conservative because they one-eyed monsters who want to destroy everybody.
Yeah,
that's what they think. This is the best way of doing things.
Yeah.
Right? I tend to disagree with that on the whole, generally. But there's just some people, they're just nutters, and you have to say it. They're just bad people.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're on both sides of the fence. But so anyway, Byron listens to this, and I love Byron. Right, one of my best mates. Podcast listener since the start, Patreon, thoroughly good egg. Lived with him for 3 years.
You have been living with him for 3 years. Is this how Kenny finds out?
I share at my wedding, and one of my very best friends, and has been for nearly 30 years, right?
Okay.
Also happens to be an absolute dyed-in-the-wool Tory, right?
Yeah.
So when he was over here, he worked for John Major's security detail. He stood as a...
Where's he from?
Calgary, Western Canada. He stood as a Conservative candidate in Alberta. His politics are very right wing.
Yeah.
Not
Are
fascist, but
the
right-wing
Canadian
Tory.
Tories Conservatives like the British?
I was going to say, what is their element of right wing?
Yeah, well, if Western Canada right wing is fairly right wing, to be fair. Right?
Okay.
It's an oil based economy.
Right.
They're very sort of pro Trump, pro this, pro that. That's his political standpoint, right? Which I accept because that's him, and I love him. I know he's a good dad. He's a bloody good rugby player. Likes to drink. He's always all the things that you would want your mate to be. Happens to be, a true blue Tory boy, right?
Good rugby player who likes a drink.
That's what I mean. I got a low bar.
I just really love that.
Friendship.
It's going.
If you like rugby and a drink, I am your best friend.
Exactly. If Farage goes to watch Bristol Bears, he's your best mate.
I won't have a bad word said about it.
Yes, Lynn, I'm convinced that he's my best friend.
So he sent me a Christmas card, which he does every year, love him, right? And he listened to this, Byron. I'm gonna drop you in it right now, mate, if you listen to this. We get one every year. I never send one back because I'm a lazy bastard. I don't.
Yes.
Anyway, so there we are.
Yeah.
So it's the usual sort of thing. Merry Christmas to you and the family. Blah, blah. He says, still listen to the podcast. Although, if I'm honest, it's a bit too woke for me these days.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Couldn't
So
agree more.
We've gone woke.
I agree with you, Byron.
We've gone woke. We're going broke. Yeah.
Yep.
Right? And I thought... I didn't even reply to it. I thought, fair
Happy
play,
Christmas.
yeah. He said, but I prefer the angry you talking about Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
So he's got a point. So
As
I'm gonna
opposed
try
to the
and,
more reasonably you talking about women's sport.
Yeah.
You can't be both those things. Come on, Mike. You can't hate pretend martial arts and love women's sport. Those two things don't go hand in hand at all.
I know, innit? Yeah. And he's a lovely bloke. Like I said, loves rugby. Loves a pint. Just likes uniforms. Just believes in strong leadership, that's all.
That's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
it is.
He walks in quite a funny way.
Loves a strong man. So if I'm too woke for anybody these days, I do apologise.
Imagine your opinion of woke